Hello, hi, it's Rose. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm continuing the Folio series. There's a series of 4 videos, and I used the Studio Summer collection to create the original ones. There's 20 panels altogether, and by a panel, I mean like one of these here. And they're interchangeable so that you can learn how to create and design your own folios. And maybe that's something you already know how to do, so these will just be additional ideas for you on how to, just additional ideas, and maybe, you know, like a new way of doing something if you already know how to design your own. So there's probably something here for everyone. I decided that what I would do is, this is the next series of panels, and what I'm going to do is show you, I've had some people say, I don't have the Studio Summer collection, and I want to say, okay, I thought I'd made that a little bit more clear, but you can actually use any paper, any collection, any paper, anything with these, and I want to show you using the 1912 Secret Garden Evelyn House series. This, I have used one of the ephemera blanks here. This is part of the welcome gift here. I printed a different background on it, but there's a really beautiful background that comes with the welcome kit. I think it's something that matches similar to this. Okay. And so just want to show you that how I think about things when I'm looking at my videos. So what I'm going to do is show you that I'm going to start with a blank, and I always do that, start with a blank, and then what I'm going to do is basically decide my orientation and make sure that I am able to kind of flip those over. I think this will be my front, okay? So we'll see how that works and how that goes. The very first thing that it suggests I do is use something from a 2x2. This is a 2x2 here from, this is a new paper that goes with the Secret Garden. It'll be a drop in the drop box for the Luminary members as soon as I get it there, and then I'll have it list. A couple of these will probably be either in a Just Because or a Freya Friday freebie. So I'm not sure which one. I won't be gifting the whole thing, but I will gift 1 or 2 papers from this. So these are, a 4x4 is the sheet that looks like this. That is got 2 and then 2, right? So this would have been here. And the video says to, you'll see that next, to cut it like this, okay? So basically I'm going to get this far, and then after I show you what the video says to do, I'll show you what I've done, okay? Okay, let's move on to this one. On this one, what I'm going to do is I want to create a flip pocket in the center. So what I'm going to do is cut out these 2 pieces like so. What I'm hoping to do is start to begin to kind of let you see that with a lot of my kits, and I would say probably with any kits, you'll want to pay attention, like my edges. I use my edges so often in creating lips or a way to flip something in and out. So I will leave this. I don't necessarily cut everything out at one time. And what I'm going to need to do here is, this is going to be too wide. So I'm first going to you can see where it's too wide. So I'm just gonna I'm making this kind of approximate. I know that I'm right about here. And fold this over. Okay. I'm going to trim this edge. So what we've got now is we've got a little flip that will be in the inside of our folio, and I want to make this a pocket, so I'm going to notch something here, and then I'm going to ink all of the edges here where I folded, and I'll be right back. Okay, so in order for me to get to that same spot, right, I've adjusted this just slightly, but I didn't need to adjust this the same amount, just ever so slightly. So I folded this to make this a little bit smaller and then trimmed on this side. That's another way to make it smaller. And I know that what's going to happen is it's going to attach here. Okay. So what I'm looking at too is that mine may be a little bit backwards from that because it was oriented just slightly differently on the paper. What I'm going to do, because I don't have the extra flap, there's a couple things I could do to make a pocket on the side. I was going to just use a tag. I might do that, but I was thinking it might be better for me to just use one of the blanks here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I've done is just cut one of those into 3 different pieces. I'll probably use this somewhere, but I'll use this one probably as a pocket right now. So what we'll do is create the same notch. And for this one, since it'll be probably right here, going like this, I think I'm going to just use a circle punch. You can use whatever you want. You don't even have to make a notch if you don't want to, but I did. And then I'm just going to ink up my edges. Okay, so mine's inked up now, and I'm just going to attach it right here. This is just a little bit shorter, and I think what I'm going to do is trim it. So I'll trim off the top, put this on. I want them to be the same height, so I'm just going to trim that. Okay, so now we're about at the same spot here. I still have this inked, and I may not complete every part of it on video for you here, just this part, because you can see where the options are endless here. I'm just gonna pull this over to create a pocket. This is the flip we have here, right? So I'm gonna set it aside for a minute because I wanted it ready to go, because it's gonna be something that I'm gonna add, and I'm gonna add it here. Actually, we can just go ahead and add it. Go ahead and add it right here, right now. And I wanted you to see at this point, the way that my folio would go together is probably right like this, okay? So just kind of, I haven't decided if this one should be separate, like on its own, or if I'm gonna attach it into the journal, but let's see here. So we have this flip here, right? Comes out like this, and this, I probably will put another pocket like here. Let's see here. When I said I'm not going to complete it all the way, I may, but I'm just wanting you to see that I probably will put another pocket here for this flip before I complete this page. Okay, so I've glued this down now, just like that one here, except for mine's going to fold like this. I added the pocket. Stuffing it will come at a different point in time, but I think that move on to the next part, which is to flip over this way, and then we need to make sure that we're covering this little spot here. I'm going to use the same thing, one of the 2x2s, to create some pockets. Let me show you how I cut those. Okay, on this I'm going to make some crisscross pockets. So very same as what is shown in the video, or shown next, or whatever. What I want to do is make sure that my two pieces from the 2x2 are the exact same width as my little panel. So I've had to, let's see, just cut a little bit shorter, and I've scored it so that I have a lip here. This one actually was big enough that I could use this whole part as a lip. So all I'm going to do is imagine, I think I'm wanting this as my front piece. Like the one that sits in the front. So I'm going to design, let's see, I guess I'm going to be cutting this through it. So I'm designing the pocket based on the image. And so I'm just gonna, can see that there. Okay, so that's going to be on the front of that. And then this one, I think, because it's going to sit opposite, right? So we just kind of need to look and see. I think even more needs to come off of that. So just as you go, design along the way, right? So there's that pocket, and then I'm going to want one here. You know, just keeping in mind, I think I'll have to cut up a little bit, what they look like together. And really, this is where you can start to think on your own, and maybe some of the ephemera specifically that you want to show off, or something like that. See, what I'm wanting to do here, okay, is because my pocket will go here, I'm going to want to create a slant here that will work. Sorry, this way, probably right like that. I cut just a little bit too much off. So now I'm just going to put these together and see what I've got. Yeah, I'm not loving it, but it's okay. It'll be okay. I'm going to glue the back one down first. probably important also to ink my edges. And some that may not show, but yeah, I cut this one a little bit short. I shouldn't have cut that off. And you can see everything doesn't need to be perfect, but what you do want to do is you want to make sure that your edges line up here and here. That's what I did here. I think this needs to just slightly. That's what will keep your folio looking uniform, or uniform isn't the right word. I don't know. It just, to me, it looks nicer. So I'm just going to glue this down now. You can see I've got a little bit of that piece kind of poking up from the other side. I'm going to trim that because it's not going to matter that, let's see, I just trimmed that there. So instead of the pockets going like this, I made a crisscross pocket. We could, if we wanted to, you know, add, oops, let's see, yeah, they would have to be going like this. Additional pockets if we wanted, but I don't want to. You can use some of the smaller pieces that are left and stack them on either side, but I didn't want to do that. I like the way that looks. So you kind of have to adapt with the images that you have, even if it's the same design. And that's where you can get just a little bit creative, because the construction is about the same. just created a little bit of a window here. Again, if you want to watch the video that shows how I do that, you can. I'm going to go ahead and use this tape on the edge here so that as I seal up this pocket, I'm utilizing as little space as possible. So the tag that I picked out to go on this, I'm going to need to kind of adjust. I think I should have put a notch here. It'd be hard to do now. I'm actually going to pull it apart to do it. Our rows messed up. Let me just show you how this is going to go in the journal. So we've got the notch here. I'm going to slide in my little guy. And I only want to be able to, I think probably want it to land right about there. Okay, and what I wanted to do is create, make this a tab. So use some scrap. So let's just come back to my 1912 Abilene House one. So I know that probably what I'm wanting to do is create something right about like that, okay? And because this tag is fairly short, I'm thinking that I'm going to use this portion as another tuck. So when I use my tape, we'll put my tape in. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to check out where I want my thing to land. So we know what I don't want it any deeper than that. And so I'm going to add my tape right there so that I prevent it from moving down any further. Okay. And then also I'm going to add tape down here to make this little tuck spot. That's instead of adding the tape along here. And right there, I'm just going to make a notch and ink that. Okay, and then I need to have tape along here to close this up. I'm a little worried about whether or not it's going to be centered, and we will be lucky if that's what happens. So let's see here. Okay, so I removed this sticky tape here and just folding those over so that now I've created a little tuck spot here. I'm not sure what will go in there, but find something. Okay. think I'm going to add pockets to this panel here. So just cut the small ones that come with the kit. You can create these really easily with just squares. Not sure if I want to. Okay, I do want to. Oh my gosh, there's so many ways to do this. I'm feeling like I tried to accomplish too much. I think I could probably make one of these a week for the next year. And I'm considering making that a series. I'm not sure how this will end up being presented. It could end up being into 2 videos or more. I'm not sure, depending on the length. But I'm committed to finishing the 4 and filming them. I just wanted to show you mostly, too, how I'm using a lot of the different items in my kit. So what I'm doing here is just cutting out these guys. So I'm just going to cut these 2 into 4 and do a notch in ink, and I'll be right back. So I'm just going to create just a little bit of a score here. I'm not folding all the way, but what I want to be able to do is ink it so that it gets fairly defined. Okay, so at this point you can do 2 things. You could make a slit and make your pocket, put it on this side. You could make your pocket one deep pocket all the way down, or you could make slits here and here and tuck in there, which is what I think I'm going to do. So let me show you that. So I'm just going to want to I'm going to be cutting right along the edge that is closest. See if you can see that, to the tag shape. And I'm doing that there because this is what will be showing once I stuff something in the pocket. The white line, not so much, right? So this part will be hidden. Be careful, I kind of ripped and damaged mine just a little bit. Because of how I want to finish these, I'm not actually going to cut a divot in these. Wanting to kind of acknowledge these edges too. what I'm wanting to show you too is, so I'm going to glue these on, and maybe I wish I wouldn't have cut those. Oh well. Depending on what I stuff it with, we may not end up seeing the handle, so I may reserve the right to change my mind on what I place in here. Because what is important for me to do is I wanted to use some of these pieces that came with the kit. So you guys tell me what you think. Would it be better to, let's see what it looks like. So what do you think? I'm actually liking the look of the drawers. So I think I'm just going to leave the drawers like that and stuff it more like this. I don't need this to be holding more stuff. It already holds plenty. So I think we're going to do that. Okay, so on this side, I need to cover this up. I could put more pockets here if I wanted to, but I think because of the thickness of it, I'm not going to. I do have that. So I'll probably just do it off camera where I cover this here, and I may place another pocket here with something to tuck in, but you'll see at the end of the video. I think we'll do that. I wanted to show you, you can just make a mini waterfall in place. So any of the items where the you've got them in a row, you can cut them out. These would be perfect for like a side waterfall, but since I did that in another place here, over here, let's see, oh, not on this one, oh, that's on the other one. I'm losing my mind. I am gonna put this one here. So what I just did was cut these out and leave the extra white spot. I cut 4 of them and I inked them, and I'm just going to, first of all, what I'm going to do is probably, I want to be able to have a closure on this. So what I'm going to do is attach, you want to decide which one you would like on top and which one you would like on bottom. And so I was thinking that I would probably put the fox on the bottom. but I'm looking at overall what will go with this one well. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going to add glue here. And I'm also going to add some glue here. Should put it in the center. And fold that over. And now I can attach this with a little more glue and precision. Each one of these could get a little pocket if I wanted. Probably these pockets would be super cute on there to tuck more stuff in it, but this is getting fairly full already. What I want to do is show where I want the length that I would like this to cover, and where I want my bottom one to land is where I'm going to pay attention here, and then I'm just going to glue this one down. So I'm controlling where it ends and where it starts, and then let's see here. I'm going to cut this. And then we know that on this, I want to be able to open it. So I'm also going to glue this in place, the part of the closure. And then I'm going to arrange these center pieces, and what you'll want to do is just make sure that they're even. I'd pretty much do it by a guess, but that they're centered and that they're even, and then you'll just glue those down also. Make a nice writing spot in the back. Now, in order to make this little closure, what I'm going to do is create myself a little band like this. That's exactly the width here. Glue it together. and ink it. So just glued this on, and then got those. Okay, so we're ready to make a little closure also for this whole little journal, or excuse me, folio, and we'll use that in order to put it into our kit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and on mine to attach the waterfall here, I actually made the edges just a little bit different, but I used the same type of pieces, and I do have, let's see, I have 5 of them, not 4, and we'll show you what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and I've just cut a strip here, and I'm going to use it to create a little bit of a band. And put lots of glue. Not sure which one to use. That one. There's also this one. This one. Yeah, let's use that one. So this slides off. We open it up, we have a pocket here, and then we have a pocket here and here. Nice journaling spot here, and then a pocket here. There's a larger pocket for different things here, and a few smaller ones. This is a window. This is a belly button, or excuse me, a waterfall. Small one. Right. And then this is just a pocket. Okay, so let's put it in our journal.